Welcome, folks. Welcome to week 2 of Ruen Your Live.
This might actually be better than last week. Who knows? We've had one episode's worth of practice.
You would hope so.
Yes.
On this episode, we're going to be talking about Cookies and Cream, our latest release, the recording process of it, shooting the video for it, a few little fun facts, a few little fun little moments that we had while we're doing
answering some questions, so get your questions ready and write them in the comments.
That's right.
And our fellow compadre Christopher shall be reading them out to us for us to answer as best we can.
Once again, we're sipping on this fucking disgusting whiskey that Rupert brought last week. Sorry, it was very thoughtful of you to bring the whiskey. We've got to get through it, folks.
That's the gratitude I often receive, the level of gratitude I often receive. I'm quite enjoying it, and we hope that you've got a drink prepared as well.
Yes, we do.
Alcoholic, non-alcoholic, glass of water, whatever, so you can chill and just enjoy this with us.
Yeah, stay hydrated. It's important, folks. It's very important.
It is. That it is.
I have a little surprise for you, Rupert.
You do?
I got you something special, a little treat.
Okay.
A little something just for this, because of the release and all that, and I thought I'd just a little something special for you. Because you're working so hard on all the visual stuff. So I'm just going to go down my little special box down here. Firstly, I've got you some plant-based cookies. Classic cookies cream. It's going to get very cheesy. That's for you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. You can open them. We can start. I bought you them so you'd open them. We might eat them on.
So I can't just take them home and eat them to myself.
Well, I mean, yeah, you can if you really want to. But I've got something that you cannot, stow away, like a little beaver. Do beavers stow things away, Chris?
Beavers eat things like wood, but probably don't. Oh no, they build things
out of wood.
They have big teeth.
Yeah,
they do. They got big teeth. Well, I got you some non-dairy. This should be an ad for Ben and Jerry's here. Non-dairy milk and cookies ice cream. So
that's
there's
absolutely
one for you.
Wonderful. Thank you so
There's
much.
one for me.
Fantastic.
You don't have to eat it with your fingers because I thought well ahead, and I got you a spoon.
How fantastic!
So we can spoon
fitting,
together.
Thoughtful and practical.
Very practical. So we're gonna open these up and we're gonna yeah. Well, maybe let's have a look.
Bear with me while I get through the packaging.
Yeah.
You've kept it nice and
I brought
by the sounds.
I brought a little cooler bag with me today.
Oh,
I did. I brought a sneak cooler. You're probably wondering what that bag was and why I had it at my feet. And that's exactly why I had it at my feet, folks, to hide away all of the sweet treats that I'd prepared for this week's episode. I like to snap the ring. Always good to snap the ring. Saves the animals. Yeah.
Oh, that looks nice.
So, does it look good?
It looks fantastic.
Does it?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. All right, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Well, here's to Cookies and Cream. I hope you've all been enjoying the release. We've had a bit of merriment.
Yeah. So the that's pretty good. That's good.
It's good.
Chris,
do you want a spoon of this? Later. Okay.
All right. Yeah, this song's been coming for a little minute now. We actually wrote the song a few years ago in its basic form, back when we lived in Los Angeles. So at that time, I remember us getting the drips and drabs of it together on a laptop, which we brought over when we first moved over, and we're just recording things into that to initially get them laid down and get the idea down. And yeah, it went from there. And we've taken that song with us all the way through our move from Los Angeles to New York, and kind of recorded in little bits throughout that whole journey. We recorded the drums in New York, the vocals in Los Angeles, I think.
Possibly in Los Angeles with the vocals.
And
we recorded it all over the show.
All over the show. And
all over the show.
But it's one of my favourites from the upcoming album, and one of the reasons is because I got to play so much guitar and play so many tasty little guitar licks. Well, I hope you think they're tasty. As tasty as this ice cream, perhaps. I hope.
Probably not, but it's fairly tasty.
Yeah.
We play a lot of our music to trailers to get our favourite trailers. And one trailer that we would put on repeat for this song was Inherent Vice's trailer. Is that right, Rupert?
Yeah. We thought the song had a West Coast feel, and was a little bit retro in its sound. So Inherent Vice kind of suited it in terms of visuals, and we often do that when we're writing and recording songs. We like to play some appropriate imagery which corresponds and inspires us to continue and finish the thing and perhaps make a music video for it, which we absolutely did. And where better to do that than on the West Coast to kind of match the sort of imagery which inspired it, or at least kept us going throughout the process. So
very well put. We made it with a very talented chap called Ryan Lumley, who's just he shoots things on Super 8, takes pictures on film. His framing is so good, and we sort of came together. I think he dropped us a message on Instagram like, "Hey man, I dig your album artwork cover" or something.
Yeah,
which Rupert had done. And we went from there, and we went and made some visual stuff together with a couple of our very good friends, lovers, David and Emily. And they,
not our lovers. That could have been interpreted
they're
that
not
way.
our lovers.
They are actually lovers together, and
who are also our friends.
Yes, and did a fabulous job. Flew over there with us, and we filmed all the visuals within a couple of days. Actually, for the whole album. Ryan, as Henry mentioned, a very talented guy.
Go check out his work if you've.
Yeah, he shot the photographs and the video content. And I remember when Henry first introduced me to his work, Henry showed me a little clip on Instagram, Ryan's Instagram. And at that point, it was just an immediate yes, wasn't it? Which is quite, I would say rare. There's so many videos and photographs on the internet, so many people at it, that sometimes sifting through and finding somebody appropriate for yourself or to help you can be quite challenging. But yeah, we locked Ryan down. He was thankfully very keen to do it, as we were, and yeah, we had a great time. We drank a lot, sort of had some fun on the beach. They were long days.
We had a lot of fun on the beach.
We did have a lot of fun on the beach. Actually, I ended up dropping my guitar on the beach.
Is this the guitar that you dropped on the beach? It's not
no,
the same one.
One similar, the same brand, Supro.
And he cracked the head of it.
And the base of it.
And the base of it.
And it wasn't, we had stood in the sand practically all morning, but I didn't drop the guitar till I was stood on top of a bunch of jagged rocks. As you'll see in the video, I dropped my guitar, I think just prior to filming those bits, onto the rocks. And yeah, I should have gripped it with both hands at all times, because that has happened to us at a couple of gigs, especially when we're younger, before we had things like strap locks, which I've got on at the moment. So yeah, we had a good time.
An important lesson to be learnt from that. Important things, grab them firmly with both hands.
Yeah, I mean...
yeah, basically.
Unless they're too small, in which case you might only need one hand.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Do you have a favourite lyric from Cookies and Cream, Rupert?
Cookies and Cream would be my favourite lyric.
Oh, that's a surprise.
Cookies and Cream we came across because
people often say, why cookies and cream? Friends have been like, why cookies and cream? Well, what goes together better than a cookie and cream? I don't know. Well, I don't know. Tell me if there is there.
I think when we'd first moved to Los Angeles as well, I was... there's obviously the time difference and the jet lag, and I was waking up at funny hours and thinking about music, obviously, as I do quite a lot. And
were you thinking about cookies and cream as well?
No, I wasn't. I think I might have been hungry.
You were scuttling away to the kitchen late at night.
Probably
getting
so.
Your fill.
But
without me knowing.
I was listening to some music. I was listening to Green Onions by Booker T and the MGs, and I thought that's an unusual and quite nice and unforgettable name, and it's a food. And I thought at that time, wouldn't it be nice to write a song which doesn't necessarily interpret the ups and downs of relationships? And we came up with Cookies and Cream, but then later it turned into kind of a love song thing, because it seems to be unavoidable for us for some reason.
We're very loving people. We love.
We do love. We love the chemistry. And Cookies and Cream go great together. So it kind of evolved from a food thing into a song which some people may find relatable.
Initially, we wanted the music video to be just a giant fight of people throwing cookies and cream ice cream at one another or pouring it over one another.
Yes, or that clip in the video of David and Emily licking the ice cream and sort of spinning around. We thought we could just have that for the whole duration, but then, we looked through all the footage and found that there was a bunch of nice stuff of us playing and singing, and so it turned into a proper video. So if you haven't seen it yet...
Fascinating stuff.
I mean, I think so, but that's just because it's very personal to me and probably you too. But whether you'll like it, I don't know. But you're welcome to check it out on YouTube if you haven't seen it yet, or if you have seen it yet, you're welcome to just keep watching it now that you know the facts behind it, and see if you can spot the little cracks in my guitar from when I dropped it.
Very, very good, Rupert. Very good. At this point, we'll be taking any... Christopher, do we have any questions?
You most definitely do, mate.
We most definitely do.
Very nice.
I thought we might have a few.
Well, speaking of how much you love this song, Cookies and Cream,
Aye.
Sean wants to know any other favourite songs you've written other than Aces. ... What's your favourite?
My favourite song out of all the songs that we've ever done is Vendetta. And that's not just because Rupert didn't like the lyrics. That's not why it's my favourite song. It's very spy music-esque, and I'm a big fan of the spy music. And I just feel that Vendetta has that sort of feel. And it was so much fun recording that one as well. Getting Chad to like furiously beat these little bongos that we had at the studio. So Vendetta probably my little favy. What about you, Rupert?
Sorry. The ice cream's really cold.
Ice cream tends to be.
Yeah, thanks for the question. I like, to be honest, we haven't released a song yet, but there is a little clip of it on our Instagram, Facebook, I think, social media, of a song called Topanga Canyon, which we were able to utilize all of our, scoring and, what's the word?
Arrangement knowledge?
Yeah, arrangement
yes.
ideas and put them in a context which was unlike the rest of our music. So with Topanga Canyon, you'll hear it's a drummer on brushes, and we have brilliant string parts played by Jeremy Kiddle, who was this Grammy-nominated string player who we're very fortunate to have on our track, and we were able to write the string parts. So it was kind of tying in what we do for Ruen Brothers with what we're kind of branching into doing with film music. And beyond all of that, I like it for its imagery in the lyrics and things. And Topanga Canyon was a place which we frequented very often when we was recording our first album, close to Malibu. Or was recording the album in Malibu, but we had to go through Topanga Canyon to get there. And
we did.
Therefore, it's very close to me. So that might be my favourite song as of now.
I like White Lies. That was always like...
Yeah, all right.
That was your favourite one?
Yeah, when I was like, who are the Ruen Brothers? And then I think one of the first ones I heard was White Lies, and I was like, man, this was the first track, and I was like, this is a fucking great song.
Little banger.
It's funny.
Thank you.
Anything about that.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever played that live? Or have you?
We used to, like years
We
ago.
used to.
Yeah, we had a song.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, we had a 5-piece
You're on
band.
form today.
Oh, thanks. We had a... Am I talking too much? Probably.
No,
we had a
go
5-piece band in the UK, and that enabled us to do some of the songs a lot more justice.
Yeah.
Henry told me that if I was talking too much, he would start eating crisps, and that's where we're at. So I'm gonna limit it. But yeah, we had a 5-piece band, and we were able to execute these songs in a much more studio kind of sound way, interpret them live in that way.
The first version of it that we actually recorded, besides just our demo, our bedroom demo, was we recorded a version with a guy called Mark Rankin. Awesome producer.
Lovely guy.
Lovely guy.
And
in
talented
London.
chap.
And we did that at Conch Studios, which is the Kinks sort of studios in Crouch
I forgot
End.
about that, yeah.
Which is pretty cool. And I really dug his version. I think his version is really cool.
Oh yeah, super cool. Is that one out for people to hear?
I don't think so. Maybe we'll throw it up for you at some point.
We'll put it on Patreon, probably.
Yeah, we'll probably
if
throw
it's
it
not
throw it
already
up on
up
the
there.
Patreon.
Yeah.
I don't think it is.
All right, cool. We'll do
That's
that.
what we should do.
And after that, we recorded it with Rick. Yeah.
It didn't
so
go
we
on the
got
album though, did it?
No, can people hear it? I think it might have been released in some country. We're going to get the ins and outs of White Lies and figure out who can hear it and who can't currently, and try to get everybody to hear it in both versions if we can.
It's on Spotify.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on my Spotify playlist.
Oh, we did
Cool.
an earlier. I think we did an EP release of it.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yes, it was on the Point Doom. Of course, it was on the Point Doom EP.
Yes.
But it didn't come with the full.
We don't even know our own music.
Christ, what's going on over here?
Well,
at Ruen
we're not
HQ?
so interested in the releasing. We're interested in the making, and I think that explains it. That's my excuse.
Very good, Rupert. Very
Aye.
good.
Yeah.
Another question?
We would like another question. Let's move
One
on.
more question? Okay, spy movies. What's your favourite spy movie? Go on, let's hear it.
Oh ho ho ho! Mine's
Sarah.
gonna be embarrassing though.
Thank you, Sarah.
Mine's an embarrassing spy movie because it's not even like a full-on proper spy movie. It's like a joke. It's a joke spy movie. I mean, I want to say Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. I want to say Ace Ventura just because I love Jim Carrey.
I love that.
I mean, is that too cheap for me to say that? Rupert, you're a Bond fan. You got any favourite Bonds?
I love them all.
You do? You've seen all of them?
Probably not really the modern ones, perhaps. I remember going to the cinema and when I was back in hometown of Scunthorpe and seeing one of the modern ones. But the early stuff with Don't Start Eating Crisps Again, where with Sean Connery. They were all my favorite, and very often when we've been writing or recording, we've brought up trailers to those films, and they look sometimes a little dated now, that was actually one of the references for the colours in the Cookies and Cream video when we were colour correcting it, was early James Bond movies, because the colours are so striking and nicely saturated, and the fact that we'd recorded some of the footage on Super 8mm film enabled us to get a similar sort of saturation. And I remember we showed our good friend Russell Johnson the video, and the first thing he said was, "Wow, looks like a Bond movie," within a few seconds. I'm very appreciative.
He was an interesting character, James Bond, wasn't he? I mean, imagine being James Bond. You're just going out, you beat up the bad guys, have a bunch of sex, drink fancy cocktail, and that's kind of a good life, eh? Mm. I mean, do you think you could be James Bond, Rupert?
Well,
I mean, you've got some of the characteristics of James Bond. You're a classy fellow.
You think?
That's part of the battle.
Thanks. Well, to be honest,
I could see you sneaking in the shadows with a little shotty, just being like going up.
A little shotty.
A little shotty, Rupert.
What's that?
It's a little gun. Yeah.
I mean, I could be
shtick.
partial. I did used to be in the Sea Cadets.
Please tell us more about your time at the Sea Cadets, Rupert.
well-
I want to hear this.
Well, I
I have a
did.
story from the Sea Cadets when you fucking forced me to go. But
Yeah.
go on, tell them about the Sea
I had
Cadets.
to scrub that belt.
Mm.
But no, I started when I was 8, and I stayed there for a few years. And
Weren't you the leader of all of the cadets at one point? You were like the leader of all the little kids? Making sure their shirts were tucked in and shit?
Yes, but there's always somebody above you telling you to tuck your own shirt in. An adult, which was quite scary when you're a young kid. It was a good time, but I was fascinated with history and war and military stuff and guns. Not in like more in the mechanics of everything I remember, my favourite thing at fairgrounds. There used to be a fair which would come into town every year in Scunthorpe.
Yes.
We called it the Easter Fair because it would come around Easter, and I'd always go on the rifle things. And
you were very good at that. You'd always win the little stuffed toy or whatever.
Yeah, so I could bear a little thing and walk around smartly dressed, but I don't know whether I'd actually be able to. I couldn't live with myself if I took anybody's life away, and
Okay.
I think that's something you've got to be able to do to be a good spy, or a bad spy.
Well, yeah,
however you want to interpret
imagine
it.
you go into your target and you get to the target and you're like, fuck, I snuck by all the guards. And
I think there's a better way for it. Like you could just be a nice spy, and whoever's causing the trouble, you could go up to the offender and say, in a polite way,
Yeah, that might work. It might.
Maybe I'll put that to the what? What is it? CIA?
Let's have a show of hands here from the viewers watching. You can just write a simple yes or no. Do you think Rupert would make a great James Bond? Answers, please. And in the meanwhile, I'll tell you a little story about the time that he wrote me along to go to one of his Sea Cadets adventures. Speaking of Sea Cadets, I was very much into my soccer as a kid. I was going to be a soccer player. That's what I wanted to do, so on and so forth. Rupert used to beg me to go to Sea Cadets with him. I always said no. I didn't want to go do that shit. However, I must have been in a good mood. He must have we used to do this trade-off where he'd stand in goal while I smashed the ball at him.
I'd have to be the goalkeeper.
I'd get 20 shots, and in return, we'd play some guitar or whatever together.
That's it. I had to trade. I had to stand in a goal with a very fast ball coming at me in order to get Henry to play music with me. And I'm very fortunate that I don't have to do that right now.
No, but you did use that, I think, to get me to go to the Sea Cadets once. And I went along to the Sea Cadets in good faith. I was told there'd be marching. The snack shop was like a big feature of it, like the
tuck shop. Pool, we had...
You had pool, all sorts of things. So we rock up, right? We get to the thing. We're little kids at this point. Our parents just drop us off. They drop you off at the end of the road or whatever, and you go into the...
We live... It wasn't the best neighbourhood, and we'd...
You're gonna just very quickly... I know you with spilling things, and you're going to spill that all over your guitar.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would be like 3 or 4 nights a week, and I think it would keep a lot of kids off the street from getting up to mischief.
That's right.
That was one of the main things I think about. Yes. So it was a good place to be.
Well, anyway, I remember turning up, and Rupert got the wrong day. Basically, it was no cadets for the little ones that day.
Well, they cancelled it.
They cancelled it, but we didn't know. But instead of the guy in charge being like, well, we'll just call your parents and pick you up, he was like, well, your parents will be here in an hour and a half. A fucking hour and a half. Your parents will be in an hour and a half.
Probably long. I think them things used to sometimes go for 3 hours.
God, it was awful. And I remember he said, oh, I've got this boat that you can help me, scrape the paint off this boat. And I thought, what the fuck? Rupert, you see, you've already spilt some on the nice tablecloth. You see that?
I'm sorry.
You see what your behaviour's done? Now you just smeared it in.
Did you happen to bring any
I
tissues?
didn't bring any tissues, but I should have thought ahead with you.
It's okay.
Well,
I'll just
now it's on your guitar. Look, what did I tell you, folks? Rupert just put the entire ice cream into your face, and yeah.
I mean, you must have known this was going to happen. Knowing me.
Yeah. I should have thought ahead. Anyway, I'll continue the story while Rupert continues to make a mess. We get there. There's this old fella, and he's in this rusty boat, rusty wooden boat, And he's like, you can come in and I'll give you a sander and you can help me sand the paint off the wood. And I thought, that sounds absolutely awful. And inside this boat that had been outside in this lockup container or whatever, it's only a small boat. I'm not talking like it was a massive ship. It was like a little rowboat. But inside this rowboat were just... I remember I had a fear of spiders as a kid, and there was just enormous spiders all inside this boat. So it was like a challenge. It was like... It trained you to face your fears. I was like, firstly, I'm going to face my fear of the spiders. Second fear, there was this old fella. I just remember he had so much chest hair coming out of his shirt. It was very odd.
Well, a few times.
It's going to drip again, Rupert.
Really?
I can see it dripping. Yeah, deal with it. Deal with it.
Well, a few times I've been on that boat in the water and there were spiders in it then.
Did you hop ship?
No, I remember the captain was his rank, even though he was only controlling a few kids. I was sat in the boat and he said to me, Rupert, Stansel, he used to call me, my surname. Stansel, you're sitting, you're dodging that corner. And he goes, why? I said, oh, well, there's some spiders. There's a few spiders in there and whatever. Petrified spiders, that was my biggest fear. And he goes, well, when I was in wherever it was, the Gulf of whatever, there was spiders as big as your hand. As if that would inspire me to overcome my fear. I just said,
there isn't any fucking spiders as big as that.
Nice. And I just sat where I was. And he goes, I'll let you off.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe in the military you can get away with being a bit scared
of spiders.
What are they? Arthropods? Anthropods? Something like that. Spiders.
Spiders.
Yes.
Yeah. But anyway, we scrubbed this boat for an hour and a half and it was awful and I didn't ever go again. And that was my...
No. But I got our younger sister to go once.
Yeah, I'm sure she hated that as well.
Yeah.
Imagine, Rupert, we could both gone into whole different things. I could have been a footballer if I didn't break my leg. You could have been sailing the seven seas.
Very nearly did.
Could you make... Another question for the folks at home. Could you see Rupert sailing the seven seas? Like a yes or a no?
What was the first question? Everyone's saying yes to the first one.
Oh, they can see him being James Bond. Well, yeah, I'm glad you've got some faith viewers.
Yeah. Oh, that's very nice. Thank you for the confidence in me to execute such a thing. I don't have that confidence.
So there you have it. There's a bit of news on James Bond. There's a bit of news about Rupert being a sea cadet and me having to go and get tortured going along to the sea cadets. Rupert spilt some ice cream on his guitar. I mean, does it get much more exciting than this? It does. It does, folks. You know what we're going to be doing? This is a bit of after hours stuff. So you got to be on Patreon for that shit. We're going to be taking calls. I've set up a number. Go directly to me, and you can call us.
And we're going to
call into the show. We'll have the phone here on loudspeaker, and you can just ask us whatever you want. We can shoot some banter. That's what I'm putting out there.
We're a bit scared. We don't know what to expect.
We're a bit scared. I don't know what to expect, but that's what's coming on after hours. We're going to have you dial in to us. Dial in for a bit of a banter, bit of chat, maybe a little bit of playing.
Oh yeah, maybe a little bit of playing.
Rupert had come to me when I came to the space today, and he said, I've got this slow sexual chorus for Cookies and Cream. I'm like, let me hear it.
I didn't use the word sexual.
He did. He said sexual. And I was like, really? I
don't know whether I've ever really used the word sexual.
Oh, okay.
But...
You just used it twice right there, so...
I mean, I've got to defend myself against the word sexual.
There you go again. There you go again. It's very sexual. That's why you'd be a good James Bond.
That's why I recommended that we get the swear jar, although that's not technically a swear word. We do need to moderate ourselves on the internet. And one of the ways to do that would be to minorly punish ourselves as we go.
Oh yeah?
Yes.
Oh, so you're thinking that we do implement that swear jar?
I mean, I don't know. We could donate the swear jar at the end of, say, every month to some loving patron.
Would you guys like that? Would you guys like us to implement a swear jar, a profanities jar?
I mean, it'll have no money from me. I'm safe.
It's going to be out of my pocket, folks, basically. But I'm willing to do it. I've got the. I was going to swear again. Then I'll do it.
He's got the quarters.
I've got the quarters to do this. Fill the fucking quarters. This. There you go. There you go.
But
let me hear a little. We're going to give you a little.
I would like to show this off.
A little acoustic cookies and well, it's not acoustic. It's a lecture, but
it's nice and cheap. I might turn up.
Cookies. Yeah, give it. No, you don't need much more volume. Just a little bit from. If it's set at what it was.
I don't. I think I'd knocked the dial.
Oh, you knocked the dial. Okay.
We had everything set, and then we adjusted it slightly.
Let's give him a little heavenly cookies, Rupert.
All right.
Like cookies and cream. You're meant for me, let's mix like cookies and... Sorry, I messed it. Sorry, I'll focus.
It's
like
okay.
Cookies and cream. You're meant for me, let's mix like cookies and cream. You're meant for me, cookies and cream. You're meant for me, cookies and cream.
Well,
that was. I thought that'd be a nice little way to maybe just cap.
Yes.
Well, Chris, how are we looking for time?
We're done.
We're done.
Oh,
So you gotta go home. You're over it. You're
we've
over all
got
this?
some. We do our after-hours show on our Patreon, and Patreon at this time helps us do so many wonderful things which we enjoy, and we hope that you, if you're not signed up already, could possibly enjoy, such as this for an extended period of time. But we obviously have to serve our patrons, and we would love to acquire as many as possible so that we can. Oh, he's doing his crisp thing again. So that we can, I don't know, come here many more nights of the week and make lots more things for you. One thing I've been eager to do is play a little bit of chess with Henry, which might be a little exclusive Patreon thing.
Maybe a little exclusive chess match. He thinks he's some sort of fucking...
Aye.
I don't know.
But thank you for tonight. Thank you for your questions.
Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us. We'll be here again next week. Same time, same shit.
Well,
we're going to see you shortly over on Patreon. Stay tuned, folks. That link's going to be coming soon. Just sit tight, go grab a little drink. Thank you, folks. We love you. All the sweetness, all the cookies and cream.
And remember, you can call that number if you sign up to Patreon and talk to us live in the Patreon after hours.
Can indeed. All right. Good night.
Goodbye.